Salute to my brother, Mahari Nation in the building. Good morning, brother. Good morning. Good morning, Bang Switch. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Salute. How's everyone doing on this Monday? What is it, the 20? Oh, I forgot my damn watch. It's the 20-something. Hope everybody's doing good this morning. Snapzilla Gorillas in the building. Welcome to my Freedom Marchers, Freedom Family, Freedom Lovers, and Freedom Fighters. Man, this sun is diabolical this morning, bro. We're going to hit you upside the head with this morning paper. And today, what we're going to talk about is basically a reminder, a public service announcement, especially for black folks, right? That cooning will get you nowhere in this society. Just to let y'all know, right? And there's evidence of this all over the place. You know, when you go out of your way to coon and buffoon, it will 9 times out of 10, it'll come back to bite you in the ass. You understand what I'm talking about? And if you decide to stay on that, if you decide to hop on that train, it's best to stay on that train, because as soon as you start to think for yourself, as soon as you start to resist, as soon as you find out that these organizations that you have been going to bat for, that you have these organizations and these, how do I say it, societies trying to be a part of, you're trying to show that you're not like these other Negroes. You're trying to show them that you one of the good Negroes. I'm a good Negro. As soon as you, Yeshua's return, salute to you. Salute to everybody. Let me, I can shout out you people. Mahari Nation was up in here. We got some good people up in here this morning. So, like I was saying, guys, once you get on the coon and buffoon train, once you get on that and you try to push this idea that there's no such thing as systemic racism, there's no such thing as this and that, black folks should pull themselves up by the bootstraps, we should forget about slavery, things which have happened, right, within the last 100 or so years. We're supposed to forget about it and, all that shit. We're supposed to support the reality of epigenetics, We're supposed to forget about the reality that when the slaves were freed, they were set free into a world that did not accept. Fucking goddamn it, bro. Am I back? Give me a Romeo, Lima, Charlie, guys. If I'm back in the building, y'all. Give me a Romeo. I'm annoyed as fuck right now. Jesus Christ, man. Anyway, like I was saying, it pays to coon if you have charisma, if you have personality, and they can snatch you up and they can bring you into the fold. It pays very handsomely if you go on the path of a Brandon Tatum, of a Hodge twin, and even to a certain extent Anthony Brian Logan, right? Those type of cats, it pays big time. But as soon as you go against the grain, as soon as you show some level of resistance, as soon as you break free from the flock, they will come after your ass, right? It doesn't even matter. You don't even have to bring up racism, right? You don't have to bring up any race at all. You could just criticize. You can criticize Donald Trump. You can criticize Turning Point USA. You can criticize all these conservative organizations and have nothing. It doesn't have to have anything to do with race. As soon as you do that, as soon as they see you grab yourself by the balls and step on your nuts or whatever you're going to do, as soon as you do that, as soon as you point out discrepancies and inconsistencies and contradictions, they will come after your black ass. Yeah. All of a sudden, it'll be about race, right? Even though for years, y'all have been pushing this nonsense that, oh, there's no such thing as systemic racism. But racism doesn't affect me. Oh, I'm not affected by it. You should just forget about it. You should just let it go. This is what they do. And then, not only that, they go out of their way to shit on black folks. I'm talking about these coons out here. They go out their way. It's not enough just to leave black folks alone. If you want to go over there, you want to show them you a good Negro? Oh, I was a good Negro. I was a good Negro. Yeah, you can't just do that. You got to shit on black folks at every opportunity. Yeah, you can't just leave black folks alone. I thought you gave up. Oh, Chicago and 50% and 13%, all this bullshit. Yeah, you want to push that message. Oh, George Floyd died of a fentanyl overdose. No proof whatsoever of this. No proof. It doesn't matter. You want to put out whole documentaries and say, hey, this guy was on fentanyl. He was on fentanyl. He did this and that in the past and all this bullshit. Guess what? There's nothing that proves that. It doesn't matter what you put out. It doesn't matter what was in the system. Derek Chauvin was convicted for a reason, y'all. It was proven beyond a shadow of a doubt that Derek Chauvin killed George Floyd. But whatever. We want to talk about this bullshit to hear Rice, and you want to blame. Yeah, why not? It works out great for you. Someone says I'm whining. Sure. Just like Candace Owens was whining when Turning Point USA called her a DEI queen. Yeah. But see, Candace Owens stopped pushing that line a couple years ago when Israel started performing the genocide against Gaza. Yeah, she stopped focusing on that. Yeah. It's been a couple years since she You know, every now and then she'll touch back on it. She'll bring up George Floyd and all this bullshit. But for the most part, she has stopped cooning and buffooning. But once a coon, always a coon. And it takes a lot to redeem yourself. But she got a taste. And this wasn't the first time. I just thought it was ironic because she actually used to work for Turning Point USA. And they called her a DEI queen and compared her to Ketanji Brown Jackson, the Supreme Court Justice. See, Candace Owens has been going in on Turning Point ever since Charlie Kirk's death. And rightfully so, right? Because Turning Point USA is is in a lot of shady shit. A lot of shady shit, sure. And so she has been criticizing them. She has been shedding light on the lies and the bullshit. And what do? They attack her race. Yeah. And of course they're gonna say, "Oh, well, we weren't talking about race." Come on now. Come on now. You see, when you coon and buffoon, eventually it comes back to bite your ass because they will show you exactly how they feel about you. They will show you exactly how they feel about you. Because y'all do this to me. I'm not even a coon. Y'all come up in here, y'all bring up my race, y'all say all your little bullshit about me, right? Because that's what y'all care about the most. See, if it's not a white man talking to you guys about shit for certain people out there, then you want to hyper focus on race. See, this guy asked if my dad is white. Y'all can't help yourselves. You can't help yourself, can you? Because that's what y'all come in here and talk about. If I talk about your baby daddy Trump, you know, if I talk about the guy that you guzzle and swallow, yeah, y'all attack my race. Y'all ask, well, is your part white? See, you guys expose yourselves when I'm talking about certain things that have nothing to do with race. Yesterday, I was talking about the Epstein files and how, you know, the MAGA crowd, they'll march for stolen elections and all these different things, but they won't march for the children. They won't come out and exercise their right to keep and bear arms for the children that have been victimized. But you guys want to talk about my race because I'm pointing out and highlighting your hypocrisy. Because you guys are obsessed with a man that doesn't give a shit about you because you have Trump derangement syndrome. Absolutely. But you guys coming here, yeah, it's par for the course. Right? Because the most important thing for you guys is to try to understand how a person's race has anything to do with what they're talking about. Candace Owens was not talking about race when she criticized Turning Point USA. She was talking about the shady shit that has been going on and the lies. It had nothing to do with race. Yet, in order to attack her and diminish her, they try to bring up race, and they say that she's a DEI hire. I mean, it's, and the really ironic thing is that Charlie Kirk did the same shit. Charlie Kirk was hyper focused on what black folks was doing and how black folks was operating in society, as though everything happens in a vacuum. Yeah, the conditions of black folks in this country, in our community, some of them. Right? They want to convince y'all that everything happens in a vacuum, and if there is poverty in a black community where there's crime, if there's crime in a black community due to poverty, it's just simply because black folks ain't shit. Now, it is not because of the hundreds of years of conditioning that has occurred in this country to place black folks in a horrible position. No, it has nothing to do with that. No, Black American history started in 1970. That's what they want to convince you of. Right? So if we point out the facts, right? If we highlight how, well, black folks were supposed to get reparations, they never got reparations. As a matter of fact, the white slave owners got reparations because, you know, they lazy asses had to start working for themselves. But another way for them to make it up to these white slave owners is to start sharecropping. Convince black folks they're actually free and that they're working for something, and they're really not. Sharecropping. But we don't want to talk about that in regards to black history in this country. We want to say black history started in the 70s and the 80s. Right? Someone called me a fool, but you can't tell me how I'm a fool. Someone asked if I'm white or black. See, this is what I'm talking about. I'm black. Period. I'm black. I don't know why that's important. It's racial, not social. Sorry, as black people are generally better at dancing, there are some fiferences. What is a fiferences? What is a fiference? Which does not make one less or better. I don't know what that word is. Not all labels are necessary. Some kind of primitive urge. Cangar J says the ironic thing is Turning Point hired this DEI queen back in the day. Absolutely. Thank you, Mary. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Yeah. See that? And that's okay, right? It was okay for Candace Owens to be a black woman as long as she was riding for them. And that's how this shit works. Like I said, this is not the first time Candace Owens has been attacked for her blackness since she started highlighting the genocide in Gaza. As long as you stay on their side, as long as you ride with them, yeah, they'll use you, and they'll use you to push the message that there's no such thing as systemic racism. Like these clowns, the Hodge twins told you there's no such thing as systemic racism because apparently they don't have laws that go against black folks. Well, that's not really how that works, but there are laws. There were laws. You look more white than me. I don't care what Heinz bin sausage. I don't care what you're talking about. You look more white than me. No, I don't. This is coming from a person who doesn't have. You don't even have a picture in your thumbnail, and I can tell you full of shit. Frank Brown says, I don't care which color you are, come up with some facts. Well, who you talking to? Bang Switch says you could have repatriated back to Liberia. The ACS offered land, money, and supplies for 120 years. Okay. You see, there goes another narrative that's bullshit because black folks did try to leave and were not allowed to. Yeah. Black folks tried to leave when Mark Garvey tried to push that movement. There was a lot of obstacles placed in the way. But why should black folks have to leave if they don't want to? So y'all, you know the oldest human came out of Africa, right? And they migrated to other parts of the world. Yeah, they migrated to other parts of the world. And the only places where there were completely separate races were in Australia, right? The Aborigine in Australia and the Neanderthal in Europe, which were mostly, they were mostly extinct, right? They're mostly extinct now, but there's still that DNA in that European blood. Freedom's Realize says, Freedom, we had our own towns and they burned them. Yeah, But they don't want to talk about that. They don't want to talk about how black communities were destroyed and burned to the ground and bombed when we tried to do our own shit. They stopped us from going to countries like Liberia. They stopped us from building our own communities and being completely autonomous and self-sufficient. PGH Big Dog, salute to you. Salute to beautiful Black Spring Autumn. Salute to you. It takes 50,000 years for humans of complexions to change and adapt to environment that they wander off. Yes. Do you know that the European lineage goes back 4,500 years? Whereas the humans that came from Africa, millions of years. I want to quote. I know you guys want to concern yourselves with my race. I don't really give a shit. The point is, if you are a coon and you coon out for years and years and years, they get used to you cooning out for you. They expect you to shit on and attack black folks for your entire career. If you deviate from that, they will come after your ass. Has Erica responded to Candace yet? No, Erica Kirk will probably never respond to Candace Owens. A Real Eye says they can't leave us and they can't live without us. This is how I know we're all that and then some. If not, leave us the hell alone. They can't leave us alone. It is what it is. And that's just the bottom line to it. Look, this is what happened. Let me tell y'all what happened to Brandon Tatum. But first, I'm going to tell you what the quote is, because you guys are so confused about race, right? Y'all are so focused on race. You really don't know a lot about race. You really don't know how this shit works. So I'm gonna break it down in simple terms, like the brother Eddie Griffith said. He said, black women can make an albino, but white women can't make a nigga I know. You understand? So, black women birthed every race. You understand what I'm saying? Black women, going back millions of years, birthed every single race. And when the Cro-Magnon men came across the Neanderthal, they bred them out and killed them off. That is what it is. So, that is the distinct difference between the Caucasus people and the African, is that they have some Neanderthal blood in there, but they're really not that much, right? Mostly Cro-Magnon. It's just the environment that they evolved in was cold. They didn't get a lot of sunlight, and that's why you have lighter skin. This is simple. That's just simple. Your environment shaped you. It shapes you over tens of thousands of years. So tens of thousands of years in Europe, tens of thousands of years in Asia, tens of thousands of years in parts of America. It just is what it is. So anyway, the point is that cooning does not pay. You understand? So you don't have to do that, right? Because if you decide that you want to turn against your people to make other people happy, you have to stay on that line, and you have to be, it's very strict. See, when Brandon Tatum got upset with Donald Trump, Brandon Tatum, during Donald Trump's first term, got mad at Trump because he signed that $6.2 trillion bill. And he criticized Donald Trump. He got a little drunk. I don't know if y'all remember that. And they came after Brandon Tatum. Yeah, they went after him real hard. Yeah, they called him all kind of N-words. See, when he turned against Trump, he didn't even turn against Trump. He just criticized him. They went in on him. And that was the last time he ever did that. Anyway, y'all, got to get out of here. I'm just letting y'all know the realities. Not all white people are like that. There are some good white folks out there that don't care about none of that. There are some good white folks out there that'll ride for anybody that are on the right side of shit. And then there are those that they simply have hate in their heart and evil in their heart. You know, like the Epstein people, the people that rock with Epstein, that apparently were hunting black folks. Yeah. Hunting black folks. Talking about it in emails in 2016 about how, oh yeah, we about to hunt some Negroes. Yeah, we're hunting Negroes around here. Yeah. Frank Brown, I don't know why you got to tell us how ignorant you are. You don't have to let us know that. You listen, just go, just inform yourself. You don't have to talk about how ignorant you are. It's okay. There's no reason for that. You do know that citizens of Gaza have blue eyes and darker skin. Yes. What's your point? DL Gardner. What's your point? That's proving my point. Thank you, Barb No Meal. Salute to you. Does ranch go on pizza? Yes. Kangar J says, so much for a free thinker. I guess MAGAs don't respect different perspectives. No, they don't. None of these cults do. None of the cults do. No cult respects different perspectives at all. And this is the problem. It is what it is. Anyway, user says, Google David Fagan, true black hero. We don't hear about. All right, much love, guys. Gotta get out of here. Like, share, subscribe, and guess what we're gonna do? Keep marching forward toward freedom and truth.